Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast. All right, everybody, welcome. I am Nicholas. I'm joined by, I was about to say that, but I can't. Let's go with guys who were right near my house and chose not to say anything. Jeremy
Wow. Well, next time.
and Justin.
At least I still remember how to get to your house,
That is true. I
Jeremy.
mean,
Wow. I could probably figure it out if you gave me a few hours.
all right. So how was everybody's
It was a good week. Can I put out a call to action real quick at the top of
Sure,
the show?
absolutely.
So we just put out a new episode of Mysteries from Beyond, Case File
Ooh.
005. And if you like stories about aliens and abductions, this is right up your alley. It's
As we know they do listening to this podcast.
Yes. And so, we were really, we poured a lot of our heart and soul into this, and we did a lot of cool stuff with like writing stories and sort of made it an anthology of sorts mixed with found footage. And so if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please check out the YouTube channel, Mediapod Smash, or search Mysteries from Beyond. And that's what I've been up to, basically. Thank you.
I meant to tell you the last Mysteries from Beyond, the evil drone,
Mm-hmm.
the one where you guys like mishmashed Evil Dead and a couple other things.
Mm-hmm.
That was enjoyable. I did enjoy that, especially all the Evil Dead references.
Thanks. Yeah. That was fun to do with the board.
Oh, and the Maximum Overdrive. But those are yeah,
I,
that was a good time. I do recommend going and checking that stuff out. I do have my new theory of if you leave your computer open at work and you did sign into your YouTube channel, I am going to subscribe you to the Media Pod Smash channel. So again, while I don't say where I work, my shop, the branch manager of my location was let go this in the last week. I can get into why off air. It's nothing salacious. It's just he made a stupid choice and play
I,
stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Mhm.
I think we went over this conversation last week off air.
Maybe.
Oh,
Okay, it's possible.
he got
Uh,
promoted to customer.
yeah, he got promoted to customer. But before he got fired, he had left his computer open with YouTube, so I just subscribed him. So that's just what I do. If your computer's open to YouTube and you're nowhere around, I'm just going to subscribe you. That's just how it's going to work.
That's great.
Going to run our numbers up. I should probably just put the videos on like autoplay and see how long it takes them to notice that.
That would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Figure out how to make a donation with his credit card.
I
Hey, you might
mean,
just look down and decide, you know what? This was
I
awesome.
I do like to donate.
he well anyway, that's not good before I say anything that would get me in trouble. Let's not go any further down that road. So let's talk about let's see, what do we want to do first? Do we want to talk about trailers or do we want to talk about news items?
I guess that depends on how much you want me and Jeremy to contribute to the conversation right away.
Well, I gave you the trailers ahead of time.
Yeah, if you want us to contribute early in the podcast, let's talk about trailers. If you want us to contribute later, let's do the news first.
All right then, let's talk about some trailers. Let's talk about the one I think will probably be the most interested to all of us, Craven the Hunter.
Okay,
Yes,
let's dive in.
Dive in there. We got Aaron Taylor.
because we watched these trailers you sent us.
You said if I send them to you, you will watch them.
I'm messing with you. I watched them.
Okay.
See, I took notes.
Oh, look
Wow,
at
look at
that.
that.
So we have Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson. So Quicksilver, staying in the Marvel universe, but moving over to the Sony side of it, is taking over Kraven. Uh,
Hmm.
to which they have completely changed the origin story of Kraven and are giving us a movie. Let's get your thoughts on it before I go any further with my thoughts. Who wants to speak up first?
Um, Justin, do you want to
All right.
comment on this one?
I know we've kind of talked recently how I've been kind of on that superhero burnout. But watching the trailer of this one, I actually want to see this one. I got really excited for it. It doesn't seem like your normal superhero movie. It's got that darkness to it by the looks of it. So it piqued my interest. All I know is it comes out in October. Didn't say when that I seen. But not really knowing too much about the character. I'm in.
I'll say visually, it looks really cool. Maybe I got to watch the trailer again because to me it was like very like frantic and there was just like a lot of things all over the place flashing.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah. So I'm definitely in though. I want to see it. Like Justin, I don't really know a lot about the character. That was what you said, right? You
See,
don't really. Okay, good, good. And yeah, so not knowing much about it, it doesn't really I didn't like look at it and go like, "Oh man, what the hell?" It was just kind of
how
like,
can they change this?
yeah. It was just another thing to just some more content to look at. So, yeah.
Well, all right then. I guess I'll have to be the voice of reason here. Uh, well, all right. I will tell you. At first watch, I was like, "Oh, that looks like it's going to be pretty good." But much like DC movies, I want to like it. I want to. There's a real hope in me that it's going to be good. But the last two Venom movies were so bad that like Sony doing Marvel stuff outside of Spider-Man, it just is they haven't. Morbius was awful.
Maybe you have a problem with darker superhero movies.
No, because I love Blade.
Mm, I don't know. I didn't think Morbius was awful.
It it was a pile of shit.
I didn't think the Venoms were awful either.
Didn't watch any of them.
Yeah, you're not missing out on much. They were just here's one of the biggest problems that I had more with Venom than Morbius. But so Venom and Craven are two of the biggest Superman. Wow, that's gonna
Superman.
Spider-Man villains. But you are now taking Spider-Man out of it and saying he can't be part of this. So like the whole Venom character only exists because of Spider-Man. The whole symbiotic relationship. That's the only reason that Venom exists. And you have now divorced that from Spider-Man and somehow try to. I mean, Tom Hardy was really good. Which, by the way, I was informed that we missed Venom on our Who Played It Best.
Mm.
Oh, Topher Grace and Tom Hardy.
Yeah, yeah, we totally missed that. So I don't know how we would have voted on that. I guess we could vote real quick.
Sure.
Tom Hardy.
Hover Grace.
Okay, good. He wouldn't have made the bracket then. All right.
Right of the bracket.
I don't have to redo the bracket. All right. I mean, the second movie was only slightly better than the first one, but I mean, it's kind of like the Tomb Raider stuff. Like when you set the bar that low, it's really easy to step over. Um, but with Craven, I guess you could get away with doing like an origin movie of Craven divorced from Spider-Man. But like Craven's big thing is like the reason he's hunting Spider-Man is because it's like it's the ultimate prey. It's the one thing that he can't get. Like Spider-Man continually embarrasses him, so like he is out to get Spider-Man because like that's the big game that he can't get. Also, Craven doesn't really have superpowers. So like he's just like a really good hunter. I mean, there's some later in the run when he should be old, they figure out a way to give him like some sort of serum or magic power that keeps him young. I don't know. It's it's comics. Everybody gets superpowers at some point. Um, but he's not a hero. Like Craven has never been a hero. He has always been the bad guy. So much like Joker or Cruella de Vil or some of these Black Adam. Well, I guess Black Adam is all he could go either way. But like
Oh,
you have when you have the Joker movie, like you turn the Joker, one of the biggest, baddest, the evil just for the sake of being evil, and then you put him in the movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and you turn him into a sympathetic character where you're like, oh well, I kind of feel bad for him, and like you kind of want to root for him, and that's not who the Joker is, and that's kind of where I'm sitting at with Craven. It's like you can't take one of the Sinister Six, like the group that fights Spider-Man all the time, it gets together and turn him into an anti-hero, basically, which is kind of what they did with Venom. But at least in the comic books with Venom, they did turn the Venom symbiote into an anti-hero later on when Flash Thompson gets infected with the Venom symbiote. He becomes kind of like Agent Venom. So at least there's precedent there, but like, I don't know. And like what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, Shazam, like I wanted to like it. I really did. I went into that movie saying I want to like this, but it was just not. I just couldn't. Like it was so bad.
hmm.
But as I am a glutton for punishment, I will probably go see this movie, hoping against hope that it will actually be good.
All right.
But
Okay.
do we think it is problematic? Not right. Take all the rest of that away. Is it problematic that we are now taking Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Quicksilver in the MCU, and making him Kraven the Hunter?
No.
I think
Okay,
it's okay.
because
I
I mean,
mean, Chris Evans.
yeah, but that those Fantastic Four movies were not MCU. At least this Kraven the Hunter movie is MCU adjacent because
Yeah.
they did bring Venom in, or the Tom Hardy Venom into the MCU with Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, he was just at the bar when everything was going on.
So, well, we're going to jump around a little bit because that's what we do. Have you been hearing the rumors about Deadpool 3?
Just what you told us last time with the writer's stuff.
Okay. Big rumor floating around the last day or two is that Jennifer Garner will be in Deadpool 3 as Elektra.
All right.
Like everybody's
Nice.
saying it's confirmed. Like it's confirmed this has happened. Because a couple of weeks ago I had heard it was supposedly confirmed that Ben Affleck was showing back up as Daredevil.
Oh, wow.
No, no.
I don't think we were recording when we were recording when Multiverse of Madness came out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So going into No Way Home and into Multiverse of Madness, the rumors about who was going to be in these movies and the massive amount of cameos. Because everybody was like, "Oh, Tom Cruise is going to be in Multiverse of Madness as Iron Man, and so is going to be in," and like basically, like they didn't get any of them right. Like I don't know if anybody actually called Patrick Stewart being back in as Professor X or um, John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I think people had said Haley Atwell would finally be Captain Britain. I don't think anybody knew that the guy from whose name escapes me, but he was from the Inhumans who played Black Bolt.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody saw that actually happening since really Marvel had kind of been denying that the Inhuman series happened. I think we're starting to see the same thing with their Deadpool 3. Like it is just there's so many people who are they saying because now that Logan, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is going to be in it. That's the only guaranteed. Like we know that's happening for a fact because we've seen Hugh Jackman on camera saying, "Yes, I'm going to be in the movie."
That's cool. He was not going to come back as that character before, right?
No, but he had always said that he would if he got to interact with MCU proper. Because
Uh,
he wanted to do stuff with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.
mhm.
So I think for them to get him to come back and do Deadpool 3, they must have made some promises.
What happens if it's just Deadpool runs into Hugh Jackman, like the actor, and calls him Wolverine, and he's just like,
I mean,
no.
it would be an elaborate troll that Ryan Reynolds would be doing. I think you're also really risking making people pretty angry, especially since like Hugh Jackman has been on, done multiple little TikToks or Facebook videos or whatever, like talking about getting back in shape to being Wolverine.
It's just
So
it's an elaborate prank by both of them.
I wouldn't put it past Ryan Reynolds, but at the same time, like I feel like Disney Marvel would not allow them to do that. All right then. So let's see. That was Craven. How about the documentaries? I know Justin, you watch them occasionally. I know Jeremy, you do occasionally as well. That Jewel Thief documentary, I think it was just called The Jewel Thief. Supposed
The
to be on
Jewel
this.
on Hulu, based on
Yeah,
the true story, July 13th.
right. Okay. That was fascinating.
Yes, out of all of them, probably even above Craven the Hunter, this is the one that piqued my interest the most.
Yeah, because I was like, first off, how'd that little dweeb get away with so much?
Um,
But like, it was like that. That's what made it interesting to me. I was like, wait, this is the guy? Like, that made me want to look up and look, do some reading before I watched the documentary because I was like, this could be really interesting.
hmm I agree.
yeah, I'm in for this one as well.
Any interest in Dead Man's Hand, the Western with a bunch of the guy from Yellowstone, Cole Hauser, and the guy from Steven Dorff. I enjoy Westerns, and after I sent it to you, I was kind of like, I don't know if either of them like Westerns, or I would be
And
interested
it's
in
and
this.
it's based on a graphic novel too.
Oh yeah, that is true. One that I'd never heard of.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I mean, it looked interesting. Probably not something I'm gonna rush out to see in theaters,
No, no,
but
it's definitely not a theater movie.
yeah, I might check it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Looked okay. I kind of started losing interest in the trailer until about a minute and 16 seconds in. Then I got my interest peaked back up again. But looked a
Um,
little on the cheap side, but I think I'd still check it out.
what happened at a minute and 16 seconds into the trailer?
Is it the scene I'm
Uh,
thinking there was?
It's probably the scene you're thinking it was.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this trailer apparently.
Maybe like a couple of gals were upstairs.
Oh, okay, all right.
And invited a certain protagonist.
All right then. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch the trailer because I'm not really remembering that. Okay. I like a good Western. It has to be really good for me to go see it in the theaters, and this seems like if it went to Netflix or Hulu or any of those, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it.
Except for Netflix, because I don't pay for that.
And I know with the being as the guy from Yellowstone is in it, like it won't be hard to talk the wife into watching it because, you know,
Reasons,
yeah.
as we say here on this podcast, for the reasons.
All right then. The one that I was really not sure how either of you would be interested in, but for whatever reason struck my fancy. Dreamin' Wild, because it made me interested in the true story side of it. Like, here's these brothers who made an album that didn't go anywhere and just kind of went off and did their own thing, and then somehow this album got rediscovered like 20, 30 years later and had a bit of a renaissance. I was very interested, and like it also had a pretty solid cast.
I
Yeah, I'm definitely.
mean,
Oh, go ahead.
well, go
Sorry.
ahead, Jeremy.
I was gonna say I'm definitely interested in that one. Even just watching the trailer made me like really emotional. So I can't imagine what the movie's gonna be like. I mean, I'm really excited to check that one out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, despite Zoe Deschanel being in it, this was probably the least of the trailers that you sent that I have an interest in.
Wow.
And honestly, that's kind of the breakdown that I expected. Maybe not the emotional side of it, but that is kind of how I figured the voting would go on that one. Again, probably not a movie that I'd go see in the theaters. Like that seems like a nice, you know, curl up on the couch and pop a bag of popcorn,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know.
Mm-hmm.
All right then. The last one, the last trailer we're going to talk about, unless there's other trailers that you guys want to talk about, Killers of the Flower Moon.
I thought that one looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, rock solid cast. For me though, like it's the director. I know it's this guy gets me because I don't like many of his movies. I don't like Scorsese, and I know that will get me crucified in certain circles. But every time he puts out a trailer, I'm like, oh, that looks good. Oh man, yeah, I want to see that. And then I'm gonna go see it, and just like DC, it's gonna fuck me.
All
But
right then.
how many movies has Scorsese done with Leo now?
I don't know. We'd have to look that up.
Because there was Gangs in New York, The Aviator. I think I can't remember if he did Shutter Island or not. This has got to be. I'm pretty sure Leo was in The Departed. So
Yeah,
this has got to be like five or six now.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street.
He knows where his bread is buttered. It's like Tim Burton and Johnny Depp.
Right. Yeah. I guess they get along, or at least they understand where who's getting somebody paid.
Yeah. No, I thought this one thought it looked pretty good.
This
And
one, I think,
I like how a bunch of them too are like, what is it? Three of the five were based on true stories.
and this one might actually get. Now they kept saying Apple Studios. So is it going to theaters or is it just going to be Apple TV?
I think it's just going to be Apple TV because it kept saying Apple Original. Let me see
Oh,
if I can look up when it'll be there on my Apple app.
because I don't have Apple TV, so but I this is one of those movies that I would possibly go see in the theaters. Like that looks like kind of like a theater experience movie.
Yeah, it's coming to TV Plus. It doesn't say when though.
That seemed like such a huge cast in a big movie to go straight to Apple TV rather than hit theaters first. But especially since with that director and that cast, it's going to be talked about for the awards
Mm-hmm.
because if Scorsese filmed himself taking a dump, that would put it up for Best Picture of the Year. So,
Huh.
all right. Well, we I didn't send it on the list, but have either of you encountered the Oppenheimer trailer yet?
Yeah, that one looks really good too.
Yes.
And again, like in because it's a Nolan movie, because it's Cillian Murphy and all those other people, I'm interested in it. Like if they were just doing a regular movie with a bunch of people I'd never heard of, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm good. But this one really interests me. It looks really good. But have you seen the movement online to get there to be a Barbie Oppenheimer double feature? Like
No,
yeah, there's a bunch of people pushing for there to be like a double billing. Like you go see
like
Barbie
the
and then
the, the
follow,
drive-in double feature kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Which I don't I don't know. I think we've talked about the Barbie movie a couple of times.
Which one would you want to watch first?
Well, that's a good question because like Barbie is probably going to be a feel good fluff movie where you just see a bunch of nonsense happen and you're like, yeah, all right. I feel like Oppenheimer is going to be a little heavy because I have a feeling the movie's not going to end necessarily on the happiest of notes
Yeah,
because we do know how that story ends.
Hmm.
I think
Um,
you'd have to put Barbie first because if you like right after Oppenheimer, probably just leave.
Yeah, I don't because then, or you could make the argument that like after you've watched Oppenheimer, you're gonna want Barbie to like cleanse your palate before you go back out into the world, like make you feel a little better, a little happier, like
Just do them in parts. Part one, and then like you watch half of it, half of Oppenheimer, then half of Barbie, then the other half, then the other half.
just be completely confused. Like, wait,
Wait,
what?
what was happening an hour and a
Wait,
half ago when we left off?
where? Why? Margot Robbie's in this one too? Like, what? Oh, wait a minute, hold on here.
So all this serious stuff's going on with Oppenheimer, and they're like, meanwhile, over in Barbie's Dreamland. So it's a hybrid movie now. Oppen Barbie.
I like it.
Yeah, that could be weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I go back and forth with this Barbie movie. Do I want to see it? Because there's part of me that hopes it's going to be just a lot of camp and a lot of fun and just cheesy, or do I not want to see it because it's going to be a lot of camp and a lot of cheesy and a lot of
Would if you see it, would you go in theaters? Or is that comfort and privacy of your own home kind of movie?
I guess it depends on who wants me to go see it with them. Like if the wife and the rest of her family is like, let's all go see Barbie, which I really don't see happening. But if they were like, we're gonna go, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm not going. I'd be like, sure, why not? But
Right.
I feel like,
So what you're saying is we need to set up a PCR field trip.
but I feel like, quite honestly, like it would have to be an extraordinary movie for me to be like, no, fuck that, I ain't going.
Get the three of us in the theater to see it.
So you wait, are you arguing that we should do a PCR field trip to go see Barbie?
So I just said the three of us. The three of us walk up to the desk and be like, three for Barbie.
We'll take a ticket for Barbie, please.
Make it three. They're gonna be like,
Mm,
you have to leave. Just
let
start
me see,
stroke our beards.
let me see that Barbie movie.
Come on,
Should
Barbie.
should be
Let's
we
go
be
party.
wearing should we be wearing trench coats?
Absolutely.
Okay. If we were to go see this Barbie and they do not play Barbie World or Barbie Girl by Aqua, will you be upset?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
They need to be playing that during the open credits and the ending credits.
It's not a loop throughout the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it could be really fun, like kind of like a Lego movie was, where like they really lean into like the meta world side of it, where it's a real world kind of play, but it also looks like it could be just too heavy-handed. Like it's gonna be too much. I don't know.
I think if they did a Barbie movie, I'd rather see like a documentary more than anything.
Did you watch that before you lost Netflix? Did you ever watch that The Toys That Made Us?
No.
Jeremy?
I think I watched a couple of those.
All right, The Toys That Made Us. Maybe you should definitely not pirate it, wink wink. The Toys That Made Us. They did, I think, 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, like hour-long, like mini documentaries on various different toys. The first season was like G.I. Joe, uh, He-Man, Barbie,
Star Wars, Barbie, He-Man,
and G.I.
G.I.
Joe, right?
Joe.
Okay, those four were the first one. I mean, those ones were super fascinating, but the one that was the most fascinating was Barbie. Um, because, well, first off, I knew more about the other ones, but like they were talking like all of the political, not political, but all of like the corporate espionage going on in the Barbie world, like in the toy manufacture, and like just all of the craziness of like how they developed the toy and how they were like constantly fighting other companies to stay ahead. Like, the other companies were always like getting people like you could do a movie on the corporate. I would like to see a real life movie on like them just making the doll with all the corporate espionage happening, like the spying and the stealing and that was pretty crazy. But one of the things that really stuck out to me is that one of the creators of Barbie, she had this big opulent office, and she was sitting on a chair, kind of like in the middle of the room, and then behind her was one of those like chaise lounges, one of those like half couches that was like one of like the laid, like the fainting couch kind of thing.
All right.
And it had a mannequin on it, but it wasn't a whole it was like the skin of a mannequin,
Mm.
just like
Interesting.
laying over the over the couch. Like it was just like a blow up doll that wasn't blown up, but it was a little bit more substantial than that. It wasn't like a weirdest thing, and it sat there every time she was on camera, and they never referenced it, never talked about it once. So the whole time you're just like, what is that? Why are you talking about that? What is happening there?
Yeah.
That's very strange.
It was very strange enough that several years later I still remember. Like,
Like a deflated doll on the couch.
yeah, it was so weird, so weird. Well,
Hmm.
speaking of weird, I know you guys like Hot Wheels.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys like J.J. Abrams.
Hell yeah.
How excited are you that J.J. Abrams and Hot Wheels are getting together and making us a movie?
Eh.
I have to read the quote, and I pulled up the article because I couldn't make this quote up. Also, I wanted to remember it so that I got it directly. This is from J.J. Abrams. So for a long time, we were talking to Mattel about Hot Wheels, and we couldn't quite find the thing that clicked, that made it worthy of what Hot Wheels that title deserved. Then we came up with something emotional and grounded and gritty.
Oh wow.
Okay. I mean, really Hot Wheel movie?
How do you like that?
An emotionally grounded, gritty Hot Wheel
That's what we need.
Yeah.
movie. I don't
Mm,
like. Do we have to make movies of everything?
Apparently.
I,
yes. Yes, we do.
I mean,
All the original ideas are gone.
I say that as we were just talking about the Barbie battleship happened. I mean, I think we all like to pretend that battleship didn't happen, but it did, and we will never forget.
Never seen it.
But
Intentionally avoided.
yeah, good for you. I'm proud of you. But all I could think, because they were talking about how Justin Lin had originally been attached to direct it, and I was like, but Justin Lin did direct the Hot Wheels movie. It was called Fast and the Furious, like 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, whichever ones Justin Lin directed. He directed a couple of the Fast and Furious movies. But when I think emotional, grounded, and gritty, well, I don't think grounded, but when I think, Fast and Furious. We've already seen these movies. Like we don't need a Hot Wheels. Basically, you just take Fast and Furious, and instead of call it Fast and Furious, call it Hot Wheels the movie. That's what we're gonna get, something like that, right? Just
Sounds about right.
although
Hmm.
With JJ Abrams behind it, it'll probably be a little better.
There'll be explosions.
He's not Michael Bay. I mean, he
There'll
does
still
have
be there'll still be
yeah,
explosions.
still be explosions.
Lens flares.
That is true. He does do the lens flares. It does not say anything about release dates or, apparently going back to 2003 when Mick G was trying to do it. They've been trying to take over for a while, trying to do a Hot Wheels movie for a while. So yeah, that's what we're getting, a Hot Wheels J.J. Abrams
If they want emotional and gritty, they should have watched me trying to get past that stupid thing, trying to close its mouth over and over.
The T-Rex or whatever it was, the dinosaur
Yeah.
mouth. Maybe that's
movie.
what it is. It's just footage of you playing the Lego or the Hot Wheels game.
Yeah. My webcam was just spying on me and they took the footage.
Yeah. Do you
I hope
like Hot Wheels? And it's just you be like, God damn it.
Fuck this fucking game.
I haven't played that game in a while. I should try to play it again.
You've
I
never
did.
seen Hot Wheels like this before.
That was one of those video games that was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah. DLC tracks were really cool. Do you play like any of those extra ones?
Like the bat.
No.
I don't know if I did. I was just trying to beat the main story. You know,
There's so much to beat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. I was trying to open the secrets and you're like, oh, you got to open this track and beat this or do that. I don't know.
Win this race with this car in under this many minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of that. Trying to find out how to open the secrets, but I did enjoy driving with the DLC cars. I mean, I know Batman was the DLC. Was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DLC, or was that just regular, like part of the?
I think that was just part of it.
Okay, because
Because
I
it was Batman and Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
because I when I got it on Game Pass, they just had it all included, so I didn't really know what the DLC was and what wasn't. Here's a well, I don't know. It's all right. Do either of you know who Allison Mack is?
Yeah, we've talked about her during our Who Played It Best episode.
Okay. Do either of you remember why she's in prison?
Yeah, for that weird Colts branding or whatever it was thing.
She was part of the Nexium sex cult.
Mm.
That's it.
She was a recruiter for that. The reason why she didn't get as much time in jail as everybody else did was because she flipped and immediately turned on Keith Raniere, the leader of said sex cult, which apparently there was a lot of branding of private parts and other scary things. And well, it's called a sex cult. So
Huh.
you want to talk about cults? Go back to our October series of last year when we did a whole thing on cults and we
Mm.
give breakdowns on various different cults. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
because of good behavior and because she flipped and turned on everybody and helps get the bigger people that were involved with it convicted. She is being or has been at this point released from prison.
Yay.
Good for her, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jeremy, as
Better than being in prison.
Jeremy, as the director, would you hire her to be in one of your movies, knowing the baggage that comes with that?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I
What
mean,
happens if you were a super successful
Okay.
top three director
Say you're Spielberg or Christopher Nolan. Do you hire
or M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong?
I think you probably just figure it's not worth it.
do I mean if she tries to go back into acting, like if they're like, we're gonna do Smallville Part Two, because she was mainly a TV actress. She didn't do very many movies. I went through her IMDb and like I think Smallville was her biggest thing, but she did a lot of Smallville. It wasn't like she just did like two episodes. It was a lot of it. If she decided to get back into acting, do you think she has any chance of a career? Or do you think, being involved with like, all right, say she was just in a cult, probably would be fine, right?
Yeah. I
But
think
when you throw that sex word in front of
And prison.
it, well, there's a lot of actors who've been to prison who get out of acting and become Iron Man. Okay, I guess a lot. There's one in particular who went to
that.
prison, got out and became Iron Man. So prison doesn't necessarily keep you from being a successful actor. I just wonder if going to prison for being in a sex cult keeps you from being a successful actor.
I think that makes a difference. Yeah. She might pop up in like Lifetime movies or Hallmark movies.
See, I feel like she's less likely to show up in those.
Right. I was thinking like sci-fi originals.
Right, yeah. Like the next Sharknado, if they ever decided to do that.
Yeah.
Asy
Sharktopus 5.
Asylum Pictures,
Octopus 5.
I could see Asylum being like, yeah, she's one of our main actors now. Get on over here, Allison. Come on. Come on. Because also, we don't have to pay you very much because, you gotta. But I can't imagine. I think Hallmark would be like, yeah, no,
No.
you,
The Family Network. There's Allison Mack.
yeah.
Most people aren't thinking about that.
Most aren't, but the network is.
All right. Well, then I guess for our last story of the day, did we see the Superman casting?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage back as Superman?
No, no, he is not. Okay, I didn't pull that up. I know that Rachel Brosnahan will be Lois Lane. She is she's on that Marvelous Miss Maisel show that I've never watched.
That
But
I
in,
have also never watched.
but importantly for Justin, is apparently from Milwaukee.
All right.
Wow, you don't
Okay,
say.
the new Superman will be David Cornsweet or
Corn sweat?
Cornsweat.
Corn sweats? He must be from Nebraska.
I don't know where David Cornsweet is from.
He's got them corn sweats.
Let's look up David Cornsweet.
We get that cheese
Okay.
constipation and they get the corn sweats.
No, I don't want to look at pictures of him. I want to look at the Wikipedia. Okay. He is from Philly. David Corn and Sweat. Corn and Sweet. I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but now he's Superman. He is,
What's the corn situation in Philadelphia?
well, it's a massive city, so probably not good.
All right.
I looked through his full filmography and I've heard of some of the stuff that he was in, but I've never seen it. Have you seen Pearl or X?
No.
Pearl's that horror film with Mia Goth in it that came out last year before. Supposed to be pretty good. But yeah, looking at his, I guess he did an episode of Elementary. Episode, yeah. There's a couple shows that he's been in. He hasn't been in a lot, so I'm kind of on board with the fact that they are going relatively unknown for Superman. He's gonna have to bulk up a little bit, that's for sure. But throw him in a padded suit, little CGI. But here's the best part about it. Well, the best part, other than James Gunn, is writing and directing. James Gunn came out and said, "Here's my Superman. Here's my Lois Lane." He also said, "It's not going to be an origin story. It's going to be a Superman story. We're not doing the origin again. We've already done it. You've seen it. You don't need to see it again."
Yeah. Who doesn't know the origin at this point?
So thank you, James Gunn. Like, much like I don't need to see Bruce and Martha Wayne die, I don't need to see Clark Kent or Kal-El crash into the planet and grow up in Kansas.
Yeah.
Just come up with a rational explanation for why I'm not supposed to be able to tell the difference between that guy and that guy wearing glasses. Now for everybody's favorite segment, and one of these days I'm going to have to get some music for it. What are we watching, or what did we watch this week?
Oh God.
You know it.
Wow.
You know it's coming. It's part of the. It's just part of the regular segments now.
It is.
I am still on a '90s movie comic book kick, so I watched the bad made-for-TV movie Nick Fury with David Hasselhoff,
Mhm.
the bad X-Men movie Generation X, the really bad made-for-TV Justice League movie, which was basically wanted to be Friends. It's like a Benetton ad come to life with really the Green Lantern costume was blue.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Colorblind lantern.
quickly figured out why that didn't make it to series.
Right.
Yeah. I did rewatch Judge Dredd with
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. That movie does not hold up. It's not. Yeah.
And Rob Schneider.
And I mean, the best part of the movie is the only part that I remember. I am the law.
Killed innocent people.
Oh yeah, not good. Basically, I've been watching a lot of really not good '90s movies. I watched this one called Hardware, which I've never heard of. It came out in like 1991, and it's set in basically the entire movie takes place in one apartment building or one apartment room, where somehow this like cyborg comes back to life and is trying to kill this woman. Yeah, it's the whole movie's like dark and in shadows. And granted, I also had to watch it on I didn't watch it on a pirate site. Totally did. Yeah, it is well, I mean it's not streaming anymore, so I guess I can't be held like I couldn't even rent it if I wanted to. Like it's just not like it's not like stream. Like it wasn't like I chose to pirate it because I didn't want to pay 2.99. Like it's just not streaming anywhere. Like finding that one was hard. But yeah, that's what I've been
Tell it to
watching.
the agents that come to your door.
Yeah.
Oh, and I am caught up on Secret Invasion. That's been interesting so far.
I gotta check that one out still.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
Oh,
All right.
I got an interesting one,
Okay.
actually. So I watched Eli Roth's Be Mine, which was a slasher film shot in VR. And because I've been playing around with I got a Meta Quest, Quest 2, with some of my tax return money. So I've been kind of screwing around with that. And in one of the areas in Quest, you can go and see like different special events. And Eli Roth did a movie that he shot like all in VR. It was pretty nuts. It's like you walk into like this screen and it's like 180 degrees basically around you, and like it was like a classic slasher movie that took place around Valentine's Day,
Ah,
and really really neat. I mean, like a lot of shit goes on around your eyes, and I mean
Did
it's like
did
kind of like quasi 3D.
did you get jump scared?
Oh yeah.
do you interact with it or do you just like kind of just constantly look around?
Just look around.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really cool experience.
I would
and
just be worried about motion sickness.
yeah, to say it doesn't give you a headache keeping the helmet on for that long.
A little bit, but it's not too bad. It isn't too bad. I would say like it would be a good to take it off. Like around the hour mark is when I start to get into like a little fatigued, but it's not too
Oh,
bad.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a cool
that's
device.
that's what we were gonna do over at Tony's for the pregame Super Bowl, right? Some bomb game.
Yeah, keep talking and no one explodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it never happened, but we had discussed
Was so sick during the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
This
you didn't
last
make it.
one.
Yeah, you didn't make it over this year, did you?
No,
Well,
I was in bad shape.
don't get sick this year
No, I won't.
because Jordan loves taking the Packers to the Super Bowl in his first year.
it.
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
taking out the Jets.
That'd be awesome.
All right. What would you, I mean, obviously you're a hardcore Packer fan, but if the Packers were playing the Jets in the Super Bowl, what, I mean, first off, you'd just be like, all right, guaranteed first round pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be a really low first round pick because it'd be pick like 31 or 32.
Yeah.
So
What was the
would,
question? Who would we root
Yeah,
for?
there was no question.
the question more is like, what would you do? Like, how would you react to such a
I'd be like, Aaron, who?
Oh, wow. I
Like,
definitely want the Packers to take it, but I wouldn't be disappointed if Aaron Rodgers
beat
led the
us?
way and beat us.
I would.
It'd be nice to see him get another one. Shut some people up.
Not this year, then. This year they can tank, so we get a better draft pick, and they can win it next year.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, I say that now, but if it really happened, I'd be like furious. I'd be like, "Fuck you, Aaron."
You would.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you'd both be wearing your Aaron Rodgers jerseys with big like no like crossed out like Rodgers.
If they win, I'd be rocking my Watson jersey.
Oh yeah.
Justin, how about you? What did you watch this week?
I wrote down some notes for recently
Oh,
watched. All right, I watched some NBA Summer League. So I watched preseason basketball. And then the thing I actually watched, I was going to talk about on here, was I watched the documentary called Still. It's a Michael J. Fox story.
Hmm.
And it's on Apple. Shout out to Apple that Nicholas can't watch. But it talks about like how he hid his Parkinson's for so long. And if you watch some of his older movies, he talks about how he's always fidgeting something in his left hand. So whether he's got papers or a pen, he's always moving something in his left hand, so it's not as noticeable. But it goes through the whole like his diagnosis, his struggles nowadays. It kind of shows him like in his physical therapy with them working with him on walking and all that stuff. It's a pretty good documentary, but it's also sad to see Michael J. Fox's decline.
Called
Yeah.
Still.
Still what?
That's what it's called. It's called Still.
Yeah, still a Michael J. Fox story.
Oh, okay.
And it like he got diagnosed early too. And
Yeah,
it taught it
he got diagnosed really young compared to most people who get diagnosed with Parkinson's.
yeah, he was in his late 20s, early 30s when he got diagnosed because he's had it for like 30 years. And then it talks about when he was doing Family Ties. He was also doing Back to the Future at the same time.
Yeah.
So he would go from filming one to being driven to another set to filming to sleeping for like 3 hours to get he was talking how he didn't know what set he was on and because he was so just burned out
Jeez.
and his struggles of like he had a sectional couch and he was selling it like section by section just to have money to buy something to eat.
Which is crazy considering Back to the Future and Family Ties, when those came out, for those of us that are old enough to remember those coming out, were some of the biggest stuff out there at the time. Like it was, I mean, that was, I mean, he would rocketed. Like, I mean, he went from being a nobody to like
This
being
is
one of the biggest stars on the planet.
yeah, this is all before
Oh, okay.
the Family Ties. Like he was ready just to pack up and leave when he got Family Ties and like they didn't want to cast them originally. He was saying because they didn't think he could be funny.
Well, if you watch Back to the Future, which I know you've both seen. I know you weren't old enough to watch it when it came out, but if you watch carefully in certain scenes, you can actually see Eric Stoltz
Hmm.
because they had cast Eric Stoltz to be Marty McFly first,
Yes, they talk about
and
that.
and like a week or two into the filming, they were like, "This guy's just doesn't get it. We have to get Michael J. Fox because that was who they wanted in the first place, but Family Ties wouldn't let him go." And they were just like, we have to, and so they finally worked out a deal with the studio to get it done. And they fired Eric Stoltz, but they didn't want to reshoot everything because they were that far behind already. So they tried to like cut some stuff, and so like it's like you have to be very careful when you're watching it to actually see it. But if you watch it, you can see Eric Stoltz.
That's one of the things they talked about why he had to work because when they let him out of it, or when they let him film, they told him that he's not allowed to miss any time on Family Ties. So there's a lot of wake up, work, go to work, work, go home, sleep for a couple hours, wake up, go to work.
Mm-hmm. Sounds exhausting.
It does
It
sound
it,
exhausting.
it is.
Ha.
All right. Well, I guess we spent most of the episode talking about stuff we're possibly looking forward to seeing in the future. So, uh, anybody else got any stories or anything they want to bring to the table?
Well, the new season of Sunny's been really good. There's another thing I've
Oh,
been watching.
yeah, I am. I am. Are you caught up?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the Chuck E. Cheese episode?
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
ending.
I'm so many seasons behind.
Risky Rat.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Oh, it made me wonder some of this because I mean, clearly they either couldn't get the rights to Chuck E. Cheese or didn't even try to get the rights because they knew they wouldn't. That's 2 weeks in a row we're talking about Chuck E. Cheese, by the way.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
It's
but
like the mouse that'll never die.
it made me wonder, like, because they were talking about like, walking around the game, game place looking for like clues for like bad jokes. And I'm like, is that something that happened at Chuck E. Cheese, or did they just invent that for the show?
Yeah, I don't remember that
Because I
at
remember
in play.
the animatronic animals and the video games and the tokens, and
Yeah,
I remember all that stuff. But
right. Yeah, I don't recall anything like that. But I mean, I definitely I've seen that as a kid going to like resorts, like magic wands and shit that activate things on walls.
oh, okay,
Or
that's
like
Kalahari does that, don't they?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I've never seen it in a Chuck E. Cheese. But it was awesome when Mac was at the prize counter. He's trying to get all this different shit. They don't have it. It's like, where are the guns?
Where, yeah, where, oh, we don't have that anymore, or we don't have that.
How am I supposed to threaten my friends?
Oh, you need to catch up with Always Sunny.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't even know what the last thing I saw was. Maybe Wade Boggs.
Oh
oh,
wow,
so
that was a long time.
you're not that far behind then. I mean, that's like 2 seasons ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I thought it was more than that.
it could be, but I feel like it wasn't that well. I guess it could be further along than that. I don't remember. It's been a long.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know the last episode before that one when they had the two guys when they had Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul.
That was pretty
That
good.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Where they flipped the script on who was actually like well the where Aaron Paul was actually the guy in charge and Bryan Cranston was just a little.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a good season so
I just
far.
I can't believe this is season 16.
That's nuts. Do you listen to the podcast?
I need to. I'm so busy on other stuff that I just keep forgetting to. Because I'd want to do what I was trying to do with the Office Ladies podcast, or this fake doctors, real friends, or whatever that where you try
Yeah,
to watch an episode and then listen to an episode. So I mean, I guess I could start that. I should probably start that.
It's good.
Maybe that's what I'll do next.
Really funny.
Because that's Mac and Charlie, right?
Yeah, and the other dude too.
Oh, they do bring Dennis along?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all three. I thought it was just those two, and then they'd bring the other ones in occasionally. But
Now for the most I'd say like 90% it's all three of them.
oh, nice.
Yeah. And even sometimes they'll bring like the waitress or like I just listened to one with Danny DeVito as a guest. That was a good one. But mostly it's just three of them.
Danny DeVito's what made that show. Like, I mean, the first because he didn't show up until what the second season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
season two.
Yeah, like season one is funny, but season two is when Danny like the dynamic with Danny DeVito changed that whole show and really kind of saved it.
Hmm.
Yeah, didn't he
I
come in
agree.
because he was like a fan too or something? Was the story like
I don't know,
he's seen the episodes and he's like, I want to be on this.
maybe there are things that they get him to do that I'm like, how are they getting Danny DeVito to do this? Like
Yeah.
how did they approach him and be like, all right, here's what we need you to do?
Yeah. Some wild stuff. Need you to get stitched into a couch.
Need you to pretend to put this butt plug in.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you, do you think it would be listen to the podcast and watch the episode or watch the episode first?
I'd watch the episode first and then listen to it.
Well, I was asking the guy who listens to the podcast,
No, I would
Nicholas.
agree with
Oh,
that. Although
oh, okay.
those guys get sidetracked a lot anyways. Oh, they like
Wouldn't know,
early
wouldn't
on
know what that's like.
no, not at all. But
Oh,
sometimes they even add clips in too, which is nice because it kind of refreshes my memory if I didn't watch the episode. But
Because yeah, I was just wondering. I was like, watch the episode and then listen. Did you say or listen then watch? Listen, watch.
I think watch first would help because yeah, there's stuff they talked about there. I was kind of like, I don't really remember, but
do they tend to stick to the episode I mean, obviously they get off track a little bit, but
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, yeah, they do. I mean,
okay.
early on they get a little lost, but I think it tightens up a little bit as you go, and they start to focus more on just the episode.
All right.
All right then.
Yeah. Oh, and the ones with they have cricket on one of the episodes. That's a good one. Hornsby.
What they've done to that guy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, Rickety Cricket.
All right. Well then, I guess if you've decided that you have to make an emotionally gritty, grounded version of Barbie
Hot Wheels.
or Hot Wheels or I don't know, Hungry Hungry Hippos, just remember, stupid never walks alone.
Comic books have been around for almost a century, and in the last 2 decades, we've finally gotten to see many of these characters brought to life in movies and on TV. On the Moving Panels podcast, we discuss movies and TV shows based on, inspired by, and adapted from the world of comic books. Join me and my guests as we discuss both the good and the bad from Marvel, DC, and even some of the lesser-known comic book companies. Learn what is and isn't from the comics, as well as our nerdy review of the movie or show. New episodes drop every Monday, and you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So join us for Moving Panels, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.